After a long wait, 2xKO is finally out on consoles. And with this being a team game where you have 2 characters per team, with Caitlyn coming out today, with it coming out on consoles, 5 characters a year the devs have promised us, which means that more than ever, people are trying new characters, trying new teams, trying to figure out what works for them and what doesn't. So today I want to teach you how to learn a new character fast. I'll be using Caitlyn as an example. In my mind, it takes 30 minutes to an hour at most to hop into training and figure this stuff out. The goal here is to become playable as fast as possible. Not up to speed, not skillful, playable. And that's because in order to become skillful with the new character, you need to play online. There's going to be this balance between playing online, seeing what my weaknesses are, and then coming back to training mode and labbing it out, figuring out how to overcome those weaknesses. To start out, we want to learn situations instead of combos. And I know combos sound really fun, they are very flashy and cool to do, but it's not the fastest way to learn the character, and I promise combos will come, especially when you're more comfortable with the character. I could be in a match and say going for a combo that I know is Warwick, and then I tag into Caitlyn and I'm like, oh crap, I never labbed this. I don't know what to do here. And that's when we hop back into training, lab it out, figure it out, and then go back and play some games. And then maybe next time we landed down heavy and we're like, I don't really know what to do in that situation. Come back into training, lab it out, figure out what you can and cannot do, and then go back and play some more. So to start out, we want to learn our moves. I mean, it sounds obvious, right? But we want to learn our normal attacks, our special attacks, our supers, and our assist. So let's start with the normals. Here on Caitlyn, I'm going to press basically all my buttons and just figure out what they look like, how far they reach, how fast they are. So we see here that I have an alright standing light. Seems to not be the stubbiest in the game, but not the longest range either. I'm also going to come in here to display, turn on data display, just to see exactly how fast my moves are. So I see here that I have a 6-frame light attack. That's nice. Knowing that implies that I can go toe-to-toe with other characters with 6-frame light attacks, which are the fastest in the game. I can beat out characters with slower light attacks that are at 7 frames, like Alawi, Darius, etc. I see that my down light is 7 frames, which is pretty standard. And it's not like the best range either. I'm gonna do my medium attacks, which seem like pretty good. I've got a 10-frame medium here, I've got an 11-frame down medium, and both of them move a good bit. I see that I'm lunging a little bit forward, which to me says that when I'm comboing and stuff, I can be a little more sticky, or when I'm doing block pressure, I can be a little more sticky to the enemy because I lunge forward. And same there, as we just saw with my heavy attack, I lunge forward a little bit with that. And then, you know, down heavy looks like I'm lunging as well. My tag launcher is pretty much the same thing. I also want to know if I have any unique attacks. In 2xKO, people could have like a down forward medium, a down forward light, a forward heavy, etc. I know from looking at the move list that I have a back heavy right here, and that flips them over me. I also want to take a look at my jumping buttons. So I have a jumping light that seems serviceable, not huge. I have a jumping medium that seems like a pretty straightforward kick. It might whiff when I'm just a little bit above. Yeah, you can see there. I have a heavy, let's see the heavy. Oh, and that's a downward angled button. So I know I can jump in on people and be a little more aggressive with this button because it comes down towards them, right? My down heavy looks serviceable. Everyone's down heavy in this game can be used as a cross-up button. So, you know, if I were to do it correctly here, and jump behind, that I can see that I can cross up with that pretty nicely too. It seems pretty big, and it kind of hits in front of me as well, it seems. Yeah, so that's pretty good. That's a pretty good J2H. And I just know that because I've played the game, I've seen other characters, I know how big or fast their down heavies are and where they hit and where they don't. A lot of characters don't hit in front of them. So I know that I can probably use that in some combos later on. Next, I want to learn my special attacks, and this is where the move list would come in handy. Hit pause, go to home, move list, and we can scroll through these specials. And I can see here that Caitlyn can cancel a lot of her specials into other specials, which is kind of a lot to take in. But if we take this one step at a time, we can learn it pretty easily. So I know I have this shot here. I know I have this upward shot, and I'm pretty sure I can double tap these. So double tap, let's see, double tap. Cool. I'm pretty sure I have like a roll option off this. I can do forward S1 like that, and it'll roll in and do another shot. And I'm pretty sure all of these can be charged. Yeah. So those are my S1 buttons. I think just raw, I also have this roll right here, which can be followed up with more shots like that. And then I want to test, can I use these in the air? Looks like I can. I can do that. I can do that. Can I do back? No, I can't do the roll in the air. Obviously, that's kind of only on the ground, right? Now I want to check out my S2 specials. So I just press S2. I get a bola. Oh, it looks like a little bit of a miniature time winder there. It goes full screen. Nice. What if I do back S2? Nothing, I still get bola. How about forward S2? Okay, forward S2 looks like a little bit of a dive kick, and it seems like it ground bounces. That's good to know. Can I do that in the air? No, I cannot. Next, you want to figure out what your supers and your ultimate can do. So right here, I'll just, press S1 super and see what happens. I know from Twitter that I can aim this bad boy. The whole point, I think, is you aim it at their heads and you do just a little more damage. And again, the move list is a great resource. The 2xKO team is great at keeping these informative. For example, I just opened this and I did not know that you could hold S2 to slow the aiming speed. I was whipping that thing around like crazy all day, so that's really nice to know. Next, I'll press S2 super and see what that does. So we can see this moves across the screen, and I did read the description. I have seen the clips, so I know that I can shoot this as well. And then as well as her ultimate attack. So I'm going to press that and see how that works. Seems like a straightforward bullet. One curiosity I have with this kind of super is, does it hit full screen? And it looks like it does not. Does it hit OTG, meaning off the ground when they are knocked down? I'm going to go into this. Does my super hit OTG? It does. And how about my S2 super? After a wall bounce, they get knocked down, so that was an easy way to test that out. And then that's also an easy way to test out my level 3. Does this OTG? It seems like it does, so that's good to know. Now I know that I can piece together a combo where I know I can combo into a super if I want to spend the bar and kill. So you guys can see how I'm kind of learning the moveset here. I won't go through all of her moves, but I think it's important to just follow this process and see exactly what the moves are, what they do, get a visual idea for them, get a feeling for them, and then we'll go from there. Next, I like to learn some basic combos. After that, we'll go into neutral and pressure. You can kind of learn these in any order you want as long as you start with learning your moves first, because that kind of informs everything else. The reason I like to go into combos next is because it's fun, it's engaging for me now that I know the attacks, and I just want to learn a very basic mid-screen combo and corner combo. A lot of the times, the same combo you learn mid-screen will work in the corner, and that's great. That takes off some mental pressure, some execution pressure from you if you could just do the same combo in either situation. But we just want something to do when we hit the enemy, right? And then after we learn our combo, we'll go into learning neutral, learning a little bit of pressure, and that will incentivize us to learn that neutral and learn that pressure, because now we know that we're aiming to land this cool combo that we just learned, right? So we can kind of go into the universal B&B here, I assume. I just did light, medium, heavy, down heavy, light, medium, heavy, S2, and it seems like we get a knockdown there, which is pretty serviceable. It does send them full screen, kind of where Caitlyn wants to be. So that's kind of nice. I can just do my zoning game from there. And we'll test if this combo will work in the corner as well. And I'm pretty sure it will. Yeah, it looks like it does. Not the best combo, not the most damage. I myself would lab something out that's a little more intense, a little more high damage. Guys, the most important thing is that you finish your plate. The best combo is the one that you can finish, right? If you want to see how to build combos, my most recent video is how to combo. For me personally, I labbed out this combo. I will leave the notations on the screen. I think it's pretty serviceable. Not a bad combo at all. And then, you can go from there. You can tag launch off of that, you can super off of that, and that's what I'm comfortable with. But I just recommend finding one that's good for you and going from there. And then same as in the corner, and here you could have a lot of variation. You can the world's your oyster in the corner, guys. You can make whatever combo you want. For me personally, I know that the same combo I was doing before will work here, so I'm not too worried about it. But given that it's the corner, and if you're comfortable with it, find something a little more saucy, a little more unique to you. Now that we have our mid-screen and corner combos, I want to quickly touch on Oki, basically pressuring the opponent on wake up after you knock them down to try and get another combo. And you'll want this for your mid-screen and your corner combo. You just want to know how to pressure them afterward instead of just backing away and giving them all this screen space and returning to neutral comfortably. So for example, I'm bringing in Caitlyn off of a tag launcher. I can go for this sequence to limit strike and then throw out a trap and actually punish them for rolling out. And that kind of makes them want to stay in the corner, deal with trap, deal with bola, all that kind of stuff, right? Because you can easily react to the rollout. And then I'm going to want the same thing off of my mid-screen combo. So I can go here, I might, limit strike here, I might just throw out a trap and go for stuff like that. I might go for something like this where you set up some dash Oki, much like Warwick. You can kind of just choose what's most comfortable for you, what's most effective, but generally you want to find something that covers multiple options with one action. Next, I want to try out her assists, so I'll try out this. Oh, it seems like a nice upward angle. Reminds me of GT Goku from Dragon Ball FighterZ. What about her normal one? Seems like downward angled, kind of like Ari's, but much further reaching and only one bullet. And it's good to know what angles they cover, because let's say I'm on the ground doing something like this and I want to cover the jump in, right? I can do back assist to beat that out. Cool. Now that we know our moves, our normals, specials, supers, ultimates, and assists, I'm now gonna do a little bit of neutral and just a little bit of pressure to see what I can figure out in a short amount of time, and then we'll hop online. With Caitlyn, my neutral feels pretty straightforward. I kind of just want to zone out, do a lot of this when they jump in, do a lot of this when they're at full screen, maybe throw out a bola, maybe throw out a trap. Seems pretty nice, and then when they jump in on me, I'm gonna want to down heavy them. That's a key thing as a zoner, is anti-airing people as they try to get over and around your projectiles. So I probably want to also learn a 2H combo, but I'll probably save that for another day. Right now, I think I'm just gonna do a very basic, you know, this kind of stuff. As I'm playing, I'll learn like what this loses to, what this loses to, what I can get punished by if I throw out trap, what happens if I throw out an unsafe bola. I'll kind of learn where I'm getting punished and then come back into training and try to mitigate those weaknesses. Finally, for the pressure bit, I want to go into settings, bots, set them to block, and then I want to go back to display and turn on data display. This is important to see what moves are safe on block and what moves are punishable. So I'm going to do my light attack. I see that I'm -1. Downlight, -2. That means these are safe on block, meaning if they hit a button afterwards, can I block? And it actually looks like Echoes is too stubby to punish me anyways, but yeah, I can block after that and not get punished for that on block, meaning it opens up like some stagger pressures, right? Next, I want to try my mediums. Looks like that is -9 on block, not safe on block. That is also -9 on block. My heavy is -8 on block. My down heavy is -11 on block. What about my back heavy? -9 on block, but I'm pretty far away, so probably not punishable anyways. But what I'm seeing here is that my moves outside of light attack are all punishable on block, so stagger pressure is not going to be the best with her outside of the light attacks. But what I know about my kit is I have a roll. I have a disengage. So really, anytime I feel like I'm unsafe, I'm rolling out. So that's pretty nice. I know that I can just disengage whenever I feel like I'm not getting the hit. I also want to know which of my moves hit low, which hit overhead, right? So I know I have this roll into a light, medium, or heavy, and it looks like that is actually a low. I can see that because at the top left next to attack level, it says low, as well as the enemy being in a crouching state when they block that. Next, I want to see if I have any grounded overhead moves. The only one that comes to mind that might be is this attack, the forward S2, and it looks like it is. That says it's a high. So if they're crouching, they can get hit by this. If they are standing, they can get hit by that. Cool. Now I can structure some basic, you know, mix around my kit. And that's it. As you can see, it's a pretty fast learning process. And again, guys, remember, I'm not trying to become a master here in training mode. I'm just trying to get to the point where I'm playable. I'm going to go into a match. I'm going to play some games. I'm going to come back and answer my questions and learn how to mitigate weaknesses. For example, do I know what to do off this? Nope, I do not. But I'm going to land that in a block string and then come back and figure it out. Do I know what to do off my low? I don't at all, but I'll figure it out, right? That's the whole point. Right now I have a neutral game. I have block pressure, I have a combo that works mid-screen and in the corner, and really I'll just have to figure out how to convert my high-low options into the combo that I already know, and probably how to do like 2H combos like you guys saw earlier. I really don't know what to do, but that's okay. This is the learning process. It's going to feel awkward at first, I promise, but play a few matches and you will see how quickly you will learn following this process. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you all. Welcome to our console brothers. I will see you guys in the lobby. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. You know the drill. Take care. Adios.